The last time we were this dark on our show was when Kobe passed.
Oh, this is worse than that.
Yeah, this is.
Way worse. Considerably.
But we were also crying like the whole show.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys listening to us, calling so liberally as you are this morning. Our phone number is 863-10899. Before we take more calls, though, which I know our lines are full, just kind of hang in there. Let's welcome on the show a really, really brilliant mind. She served as the, of course, Comelec Commissioner for 7 years, I think, right? Thereabouts. Please welcome on the program, Rowena Guanzon. Hello, my
Hello
dear.
po,
Thank you for
ma'am.
Kambing! Good morning po!
Good morning, Susie.
Is it a good morning?
I woke up and said, what day is it? And, the song, Any Dream Will Do by Weber. And before I exit today, your show, I'd like you to play it so I can sing along.
So are you in a jolly mood, or I mean, is this a light mood, or is this the way you deal with disappointment? I mean, I'll tell you right now, be honest, Rowan, I know you just woke up, but the rest of our listeners, we've had multiple callers crying, unknown what the future holds. They don't know if they should live in this country. We've had callers calling saying they're part of the BBM machinery and they were paid to help lambast the other side. We've had a lot of tears on the show this morning. Is this how you cope with bad news, or maybe the news isn't so bad yet?
It is grave news. But as I was making my coffee, I said, well, this is what I have to say. You wanted it, you got it. Now, you're just going to have to work very hard every day, wake up early, because the whole country and the world will be watching to prove us wrong. And they have 6 years. He has 6 years. And that's a long time.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. If you can get up early in the morning every day.
Yeah.
And and I think, the gift of Lenny Robredo is that she gave us a revolution that we can continue. In other words, this morning I opened my phone and most of the messages were tuloy ang laban.
Who's the muse of this one? Who's the? I mean, you have to have. Yeah, you have to have a polarizing figure of the movement, don't you? Is it still going to be Lenny?
It's too early to tell. I think we should pray for Lenny and their daughters because they've been through a lot. And all the sacrifice that she made was really for the country, for us. And we can cry it out now, but don't let your children see you because they're batting next. Last night, I was in a friend's house. I had my first single malt in 2 years. And their son was, downcast. And I said, hey, guy, get ready. Get healthy because you're batting next. And then he looked at me sharply and said, yes, tita.
I've got a question. I mean,
Things
obviously,
happen for a reason.
Yeah, they do.
I've been through Marcos, martial law. We waited it out. It seemed like it was never going to end. And then it happened. Now his son wants to redeem him. They want to vindicate they want power. They want more power, and we know what it is for. But when I was making my coffee, I said, well, you want it, you got it. Now you gotta get up in the morning early and go to work for this country, because that's what you paid for.
Right. I mean, Ron, I hear what you're saying, you know, and I know you are brilliant. They're you know, a lot of people say just kind of the most amazing things about you and how smart you are and all of that. But my question, I guess, is how do you wait it out when we're talking about, you know, some of the worst governance this country's ever seen? I said it earlier. There's been no more prolific combination. You correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, again, you know more about this than we do, but there's been no more prolific combination of Filipino killers than Marcos and Duterte, and we have both of their children now as 1 and 2. I mean, how do we sit here and we just go, okay, you know, I'm gonna make my coffee and I'm gonna kind of go on with my life? These are offspring of the two worst we've ever produced.
I'm going to make my coffee and get ready to fight every day. And I'm going to be Congresswoman. I'm going to have a platform. And you have your radio station and you have your platform.
Yeah.
Every one of us has our platform to express. Now, I know how you feel, guys. I mean, I had my whiskey last night. Clearly. And I said, well, I'm going to try this out for maybe 3 days. Go home and drink with my brothers and, you know, curse. But our family is so used to adversity. We have been trained to fight for what is right, and that is what you develop for your children, your strength of character. It's not always happy times, but every day under this administration is going to be a challenge for us, but for him also. And I tell you guys, we waited, 18 years? We can fight again another 6 years. So don't tell me I'm going to migrate, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, because we don't have the luxury for our children. Not all of us can leave the country. And so, me and my siblings, Villena Guanzons, we're staying here. This is our country.
But you have a comfortable life.
Country. This is my fucking country.
Yeah, no, I got you. Listen,
I'm going to claim it, and I don't have the luxury because I'm 64 years old. But so is he. BBM is also 64 years old. But I can wake up anytime I like and go to Congress. He's got to wake up and get to work. Get your ass back to work, man. I mean, you've never worked a day in your life. Now you get your ass back there because we're all watching you.
I have confidence in somebody who hasn't worked to do a good job. His job, most important job, probably, obviously in the country. Rowan, let's do this for a sec. Can we talk about what happened last night? Let's talk about the election. You're an expert at this topic. This was our third now? Is that our third automated presidential election? Do you think it was cleaner, more streamlined than some of the ones in the past? Or was last night a bit of a disappointment from what you know and from what you've heard?
Well, in the past elections that I have experienced, this is probably the one that had the most DCMs failing.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Vote counting machines. Although Commissioner Casquero said it was only about 150 of them. But still, it caused a lot of doubt.
Yeah.
On this election.
The news.
And the vote buying was very visible.
Yeah, we saw videos. There's some viral videos of some like really.
And so compared to the other elections that I have witnessed, this is far from satisfactory.
Okay.
So COMELEC really has to, assure the people that this was a credible and honest elections. And I tell you, it just shows that vote buying really works in this country still.
Yeah.
And they have perfected it.
I mean, and you think
They
that's
have
what how he?
perfected vote buying, and that's what we are really up against in the next election.
How do you win? How do you beat that? I mean, it's so effective. Again, we've got a new president here who's been unemployed since his defeat 6 years ago, and comes out and crushes it at the polls. How do you defeat it? It's a great way to get yourself elected. I think we lost her on Zoom. Yeah, we did. Don't.
Okay.
No, there she is. She's back. All right, hold on. Yeah, I know the connection's a little rough.
All right, I don't have. Because you need a great mass base to defeat vote buying, and that starts with the mayors. I'd say one of the things that I want to do or I want to see is that all these young people have been so vocal about good governance should join the barangay elections. If you're running a company in your city, you have a small business or you're a professional, you put your money where your mouth is. You run for the barangay so that you have an independent core of barangay officials there, not under the control of the mayor. Because the root of all this vote buying is patronage. So you have to break patronage. So put your money where your mouth is. I say, yung mga anak ni Bing Guanzon were almost 50,000 in the private group. I'm going to encourage them to run for the Sangguniang Kabataan. Yeah, why not? You're a doctor or you're a what? Engineer, you're a college grad or you didn't graduate from college, you have a small business. You run for SK. If you're qualified, by age. Put your money where your mouth is. I think that's a good start.
You're a very
local elections. You run for office because we have to hammer down patronage.
You were a very young mayor. I think 28 years old, right, when you were mayor.
Yeah, with Jesse Robredo, but I was ahead of him a few years because I was appointed by President Cory in '86. We were elected in '88. Together with General Duterte.
What do you think the ideal age is for prime governance? Like real kind of national position, presidents, vice president. What do you think the prime?
There's a constitutional limit for that. But for me,
I'm just more for cognitive. Just being like on top of your shit. I mean, like sometimes when I see Digong, I think he's clearly delusional already to me. I don't think he's in an age, I think, that makes him a really very good, effective leader. Is there a prime age that I'm talking about, like 55, 60, that you would say where the mind, the wisdom, the experience all meet together? Or is it just completely personal?
Look at America and look at that handsome guy.
Was he Vico? Mga ganyan?
No. Look at America. They have Obama.
Alam ko yun. Yeah.
New Zealand, they have this relatively middle-aged woman. In France, the other countries who are world-class have world-class candidates. So, since they have almost perfected democracy, their institutions are strong. Look at Trump, he won, but the institutions of the United States were strong, and he couldn't use them,
Yeah.
not with success. And that's what we should aim to have for our country. Because we are a young democracy and we are always failing. We're always failing because all the bad guys have perfected vote buying. The only time we had some, good economy was, well, you have to admit, President Gloria Arroyo,
Yeah.
and of course, President Aquino. Duterte's administration was a very low grade. I mean, even in human rights and
Yeah, it was abysmal.
so you have another 6 years of Marcos Jr. and we all know what to expect. No matter how brilliant the cabinet is, if you have a president who can't lead, it's going to fail. The government's not going to perform well at the least. So you have another 6 years. So
Lovely.
6 years for the people to feel it more and worse because we have almost 13 trillion in debt. And that's going to continue because he's got nothing. He has got nothing to use except our taxes. And he has to pay his taxes so that we will pay our taxes. You see?
Yeah. Oh,
That's why when I woke up, I said, well, you asked for it, you got it. I think I got the inspiration from my father. I can almost hear him. What are you moping about? This junior one. He says, well, he asked for it, he's got it.
Yeah, but where I disagree, where I disagree a little bit with the, you just gotta have to deal with it. Is that there are people who just can't, who I don't have the luxury to just kind of wait around and see a president who's clearly not capable of running a country try to run a country when they've got family, they've got children, they've got a future that they can't afford 6 years to just hang around. And then of course with Sarah's very impressive showing last night, that 6 years could easily be 12 years, likely will be 12 years. I don't have the time for that shit. I gotta go. And I have to leave because my family is priority. There are a lot of people who have to go that route. And I just can't say, just deal with it.
I agree that you have that option. In fact, I won't stop anybody in my family who will migrate because we've tried so hard and it's not working. So young people have a choice to leave, and I won't stop my nieces if they do. But if you guys leave, we'll just, all this 50, 60 and above, we'll just do the fighting then. And we're just going to have to develop younger people. That's why I focused on those below 41. Because that's 54% of the voters. But still, you look at my showing there. It's not really like top 5. Why? Because we didn't have money. We didn't have money for ads too much. I mean, you just had enough for ads.
Yeah.
But not more that I would have wanted. We didn't have mayors. We didn't have money to give the mayors. So I'm saying, guys, you have a choice. You can leave the country, come back if you can, when you can, before 6 years, and fight again, or you can stay. But as I said, we folks are staying, and we're just hoping that more young people will continue.
Fair enough.
Because not that I don't have a choice, right? I mean, I'm retired. I have a government pension. I'm smart. I can take on another career. I can leave.
You've got a Rolex, GMT, Pepsi. I saw in a lot of your pictures. Yeah, life's good, man.
I I I can live without all of those things because I said, what the heck? Okay. That's why I decided to agree to substitute for P3PWD's first representative. So, because they need me, the persons with disability and these young people, they need me to continue fighting for them. So, we're staying right here. But you young people, you will have children, you will bring about the new generation of Filipinos. Wherever you are, you just teach them to love their birth country.
No, I think that, I think it's a viable plan. Dora, you've got a question, of course, on the show right now is Rowena Guanzon, of course, Commissioner of Comelec for quite some time. Dora, you've got a question?
Yeah, we got the question from social media. Combin, what does it take for Comelec to investigate all these election anomalies po? And what does it take to declare an election failure? Furthermore, do we have people to trust pa inside Comelec?
Comelec will only act if there is a complaint, or it can act motu proprio. It can investigate why these VCMs failed. It's just, for me, it's just going to take some time and all that, but they won't declare a failure of election because 150 vote counting machines broke down. There has to be, in Mindanao, they can declare a failure of elections for places where there were bombs thrown, or, the teachers were kidnapped. In other words, that no election took place. That's a failure of election. But not when an election took place, but the VCMs broke down, etc. But that vote buying happened, etc. I would encourage all of you who have witnessed vote buying to pursue it, to call the lawyers, your lawyers, and file a complaint. File a complaint against, for example, the ones who gave money on that sample ballot have their candidates' names on it. So obviously, their candidate for mayor benefited from that illegal act. So include him in the complaint. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
All of you who witnessed vote buying should call the lawyers for Lenny and file a complaint.
Why though do we see? I mean, even the bad politicians who resort to vote buying. Why do we see them resort to so much showmanship also when it comes to campaigning? I mean, they're going to vote buy anyway. Like, why put so much effort for example, Roque to dance stupidly as he has? We see this video of Robin Padilla the other day. I don't know if that's him, or look like or whatever. But there's a lot of dancing going on. Bong Revilla with his awful stuff. I mean, there's so much showmanship in Philippine elections. Why do we resort to that? Does it connect? Well, we're going to pay them anyway.
Because it goes with the whole design. That is to attract the voters in income class B and E. They like to be entertained, and they have a right to be entertained with living in such very difficult situations. So that's why they vote that way. Now me, I dance on stage because it's my way of getting momentum, before I speak.
Yeah,
it's
the boxing gloves.
for me, okay, an exercise. They really dance to attract the voters in income class PNE because that's what they're going to buy. That's the connection.
Yeah.
They gotta like them too, you know. Diba?
Yeah.
Ay, ganyan. So we get the likes of Robin Padilla as #1 senator, and I don't know what he's gonna do there. It's kind of hard living a life in six years of your life, living a life that's not fit for you.
Oh yeah.
So I wish him good luck.
Disaster. Yep. Dora, you want to throw one more out here, and then of course we'll let Rowena enjoy the rest of her coffee this morning. But yeah, you have any other questions?
No, I just think I parang as a law student po, no, Combing, it's just really disheartening to parang work in government kasi it's filled of people with no degrees, walang pinag-aralan, and
Boy, am I glad I'm retired. Well, you have a lot of options. You're going to be a lawyer, you know. As my mother would say, if you're a lawyer, you can be anything. I think, I hope I don't come across as, you know, not having my share of tears because I did cry this morning over my coffee. And I cried for my country because I've seen it. I've seen it since I was 14 years old. I've seen, and my family's been in politics for so long that I've seen it up close.
Yeah.
That's why you have to pardon me if my crying is short-lived because I'm trained to, you know, wipe my tears, get up and go again. So guys, if you have time, play the song that I played this morning to, you know, fire me up again. Any Dream Will Do by
So Lloyd Webber?
by Lloyd Webber. Yeah, and it's a great song. And
Yeah.
someone
Okay,
is
we'll play it for
weak,
you.
but the world was sleeping. Any dream will do.
Now,
The warmth of flash of light, my golden coat. I think you should play that song, guys.
Yeah, I'll play-
This morning, and those who are listening, try that song. 'Cause I play it every morning. I play it every morning, guys.